Hello and welcome to another video on this series of videos on how to write an MDD cache reader for Maya using the Python API. We're going to go ahead and continue where we left off. On the previous video, we went ahead and we implemented our command, but instead of implementing the actual code inside the do it portion of the command, we just printed MDD on ArcList. So let's go ahead and actually start implementing the code that we're going to need to be able to handle the command. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to create a variable called ArcData, and here's where we're going to where we're going to store the data that is part of the argument list. So we're going to do self.syntax and then arclist. So what this is going to do is going to use this, this class right here, MArcDatabase, and then it's going to use our syntax object that we created, and it's going to, and it's also going to take the argument list that has been passed into the command, and it's going to store this into a new object type called ArcData. And ArcData is going to allow us to do different things with the command, with the flags and the different things that were passed to the command. So once that is done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a quick shorthand right here. We're going to do mg equals om global. Right? So now this is going to be a shortcut for mglobal. And here, what we're going to do next is create a selection list. So create a selection list. And here we're going to do slist om selection list. So we create a selection list object. Now we're going to do ArcData dot get command argument 0 clist. Okay, so what we did is we created a selection list, and then we tell ArcData, give me the command argument that was passed to you. So if you guys remember correctly, the way the command goes is you have the command, a bunch of flags, and at the end you're going to take a string. That is what's going to be used to, we're going to deform that object that you're passing as a string. So what this does is it tells ArcData to get you the command argument, which is at the 0 position. And since this command only takes one argument, it will be that one. So after you have all your flags, you have your first command argument, which has an index of 0, and you're going to store that value into a selection list. So let's do that over here and do store the command into the selection list. All right, so now we've done that, we're going to go ahead and create a quick mObject instance that we're going to need for doing several things. So we're going to do create an mObject instance. Dependency node, it's going to be equals om dot mObject, right? And then MDG is going to be om.mdg modifier. And this is a class that allows you to modify the DAG path. And that's what we're going to be doing, and you're going to see pretty quick how we're going to use it. So now we have these things created. We're going to go ahead and do some checks on the flags for a command. So let's do check our flags, and here we're going to type FileFlag set is going to be equals to ArcData dot is flag set, and tdcMddRead file flag. right? So once we have this, we're pretty much going to copy it 4 times, and we're going to do one for each one of the different flags that we support. So we're going to do an offset, flag set, and then we're going to do offset flag, then we're going to do cycle, after cycle we're going to do name, let's move this back a little bit. So read name, and I think that's all we're going to need right now. We need the file, the offset, the cycle, and the name. So that being done, now we need to identify how is this command being run. Is it being run as a query command? Is it being run as an edit command? Or is it being run as a creator command? So we're going to do a quick test here. Or we're going to do, are we query? So we're going to do if ArcData dot is query. We're going to go in here and we're going to do get the first element of our selection list. So selist dot get depend node. We're going to get the one at index 0 and we're going to store it in dep node, which we initialized up here in line 165. So now that we have our dependent node, we're going to make an instance of the MFN dependency node class, which will allow us to find or inspect some of the components of our dependency node. So we're going to do MFN is going to be equals to om.mfn dependency node dep node. Right? So now that we have the function set, now that we have the function set over here, we're going to do if file flag set. We're going to return, first we're going to get the plug, so we're going to do mplug is going to be equals to mfn dot find plug, and then you just give it the name of the plug you're looking for, so MDD file, and then we do self dot set result mplug as string. And this is necessary so that things are moved properly from Python into the world of Maya, whether it's Mel or whatever. You have to use this set result so that things are printed properly into the screen. If you just try to print this value, it's going to give you some weird stuff. So you have to do self.setResult to set the result of your command and then send it out. So here we're going to go ahead and return to return the execution of the command. Then we're going to test for the other couple of things. So if offset flag set, we're going to do mplug again, mfn dot find plug, and here we're going to do offset self dot set result mplug as integer, and then finally if cycle flag set, we're going to do this mplug mfn find plug cycle self set result, and then we're going to do mplug dot as boolean return. So right now this is just going to work if we try to query things. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try to run it just to make sure. Lately I've been doing a lot of coding and then try to run it everything at the end, and you know, the more you type the more you have a chance of introducing bugs. So I'm going to go ahead and try to type this. The only thing I want to do right now is check a couple of things really quick. Let's see. You see, there's a couple of places here where I could improve things a little bit. Like, for example, I just realized this, that in here, when I'm trying to do these lookups, I'm trying to, find this by providing a constant here for MDD file, offset, and cycle. And those are the same constants that I am using up here. So chances are very soon, or I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup here. But anyhow, let's go over here and try to run our command. Let's see what happens if we run this. Okay, it created that. Then we're going to go ahead and import our guy. Now I'm going to go ahead and assign the deformer the old way we were doing it. So our deformer is assigned, and at this point I should be able to take this command So now that a character has the MDD applied to it, we should be able to try to query things. So I'm going to go here and do -q. Let's do this for -q offset. And then let's go ahead and give it the name. So I'm just going to copy this from over here and paste it over here. Oops. I'm going to go up here and... Oh man, sometimes these text editors act weird. So that, and then I'm going to comment the rest of this line. So let's see what happens if I run this right now. Come on. Okay, so it says object is incompatible with this method. I think maybe you have to give it the actual object that you need. So I believe that one was called tdcMddRead1. So let's try that. Okay, so there you go. It's telling us that the offset is set to 0. So what happens if I go over here, move this a little bit out the way, go all the way to where the MDD reader is, and change the offset to 10, 11 just to make sure. And if I do a query on it, it's going to tell me the query of that is 11. How about the query for cycle? I can do -c. And if I do this, it tells me 0. If I go over here and I tell it that, it tells me that it's 1. So at least the querying seems to be working. Let's do the last one, file. And it tells us the file. So we know right now the querying portion of our command is working. So let's go ahead and continue implementing the rest. So I'm going to go and change to another screen. And we are going to go ahead and actually, let me go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup right here. So let me minimize this, and we're going to do tdc MDD time param time. tdcMddRead offset param. tdcMddRead cycle param. And I know I typed this wrong. Then we're going to do one more tdcMddRead. And then what's the next one? Cycle, and then MDD file param. right? So now we have a bunch of constants that we can use, keeping our thing a little bit cleaner. So we're going to do here tdcMddRead time param over here. And we could do the same for the short ones, but I'm not going to do it. You guys can go ahead and do that if you want. tdcMddRead offset param. Same thing over here. tdcMddRead cycle param. And then finally, this one right here, tdcMddRead MDD file param. So we did those there. Now we're going to go ahead and change those over here just to make sure. So we're going to do, get this out of the way. tdcMddRead MD file param. tdcMddRead offset param, and then finally tdcMddRead cycle param. All right, so we finished doing the query. Now let's go ahead and handle what happens if it's an edit. So it's edit here, and then we're going to do elif ArcData dot is edit. So this will change to see if we're in edit mode. And then here we're going to do something really quick. We're going to do se list, once again, get depend node 0 dep node, just like we did before. And then we're also going to make, once again, an instance. So basically we're going to copy these two things. Let me just copy them, place them right here. You guys know me, I don't like copying code. This probably I could make a really quick function for it, but for the time being, let's do this. And then I'm going to do, I'm going to use a quick function for setting the values. So I'm going to do self.setFlag values. Then we're going to pass ArcData. Then we're going to pass the function set, FileFlag set, offset flag set, and then cycle flag set. So as you can tell by having the word self.setFlag values, this is going to be an internal function. So I'm going to go over here and we're going to go ahead and implement this really quick. So we're going to do up here, we're going to do define set flag values. Then we're going to do self, and then the parameters that this is going to take is going to be ArcData, the function set, FileFlag set, offset flag set, and then cycle flag set. Okay, so we're going to go here to the end, start code block, and we're going to start doing a little bit of actual decision making. So if file flag set, we're going to do file argument is going to receive the value of ArcData dot flag argument string tdcMddRead file flag. So we tell ArcData, give us a flag argument that we know is a string, and then to that we use then the constant name kMDD file flag, MDD read file flag, which is something that we created up here. So it's going to go ahead and get that value, and then we're going to try to get a plug. So mplug is going to be equals to mfn dot find plug, and here we're going to do tdcMddRead MDD file param, and then we're going to do mplug dot set string file arg. So really quickly to summarize, let me go over here, get the value from the command param, and then we're going to get and set the plug. Right? Now we pretty much have to set the same for the rest. So I'm going to go ahead and here and just pretty much copy this. So we're going to do offset, flag set, and then we're going to get an int. So it's the same command, but instead of string, we're going to tell it it's going to be an int, MDD read, and then offset flag. So we get the offset flag, then we're going to do tdcMddRead offset param, and then we're going to just go ahead and set this value with the value of offset, which is going to be this over here. Okay, so we only have one more we need to set. Gonna go over here, copy this one more time, paste that, and then we're gonna start changing some things here. So this is gonna be cycle. So cycle, we know it's a Boolean, so we have to tell it that we're trying to get a Boolean. So here we got an integer, before we got a string, here we have a Boolean. We're gonna go ahead, MDD read cycle flag, and then we're gonna try to get the parameter called, let me see, cycle param, and we're gonna set this to the value of cycle. Right? So we're gonna use this function in several places. So we already did it over here. So if ArcData is edit, we're gonna go ahead and use that. And then what that is going to leave is just the creation command. So let's go ahead and test this really quick. Let's go over here. Let's load and reload everything. Load our little dude. Apply the deformer. And then what we're going to do is, instead of query, we're going to do an edit. Or we're going to tell it that we want to cycle. Not cycle, we want the offset to be set to 8. And we have to give it the name. So it has to be tdcMddRead1. So if we do that, let's see what it did. Let's go over here. Script editor is getting on the way. So let's make sure we did things correctly. MDC read 0. As far as I know, let's do cycle true, and let's try this. Okay, it's not complaining, but it's not doing what it's supposed to do. So we didn't get any errors here. This seems like it's still good. Do this guy, and then let's try this one more time just to make sure. Select MDD tdcMddRead1. All right, so it's definitely not working right now. So let's give it a quick look and see what we are doing wrong. Okay, so we're gonna start with if ArcData is edit, selist get depend node, and we get the depend node. Then we're gonna create our function set, and then self.set flag values, ArcData, MFN, FileFlag set, offset flag set, cycle flag set, file offset flag in that order. File offset flag, oh, this is the problem. I was using set string, and this is not correct. As you can see, each one of this is a different value, so this one should be set integer, and this one should be set boolean. Let's try that again. So reload the scene, load the dude, run this guy, and then let's try going up, select that thing, and then if we run this, you see cycle is set now properly. I can set it back to false. It's there, and if I want to change the offset, I can do like frame 10, and it does it. So right now it's working. I should also be able to change the string, so I can do F and just do some crazy stuff. And I believe as soon as I do this, it's gonna change it right here. It's still not trying to update. Actually, no, it went back to the starting pose. So it is working right now. So the last thing we have to do is go ahead and implement the creation portion of this command. And this is going to be pretty straightforward. So we're going to go over here again, and here under do it, then we're going to type here, if we are not query nor edit, we are creating. So we're going to do else. Here we're going to do mg.select command. And remember, mg is our global handler that I initialized earlier here in the same function. It's right here. So what we're doing is we're doing a selection on the select list. So that's what we're doing with this right now. So we went ahead and did a selection. Then we're going to do, here we're going to do result equals om.m command result, which is another class that we're going to use. And then we're going to do if name flag set node name is going to be equals to ArcData flag argument string, and then we're going to tell it we want tdcMddRead name flag. Okay, so now we have the name that was passed as a flag to this command, and then we're going to do mg execute command, and here we're going to call the deformer command that we've been calling before. So deformer minus type is s with the name of this. So here we're going to do tdcMddRead node name and node name. And then we pass res, which is the result. So the result is going to be populated with whatever the result of this command is. So now that that's ready, we're going to handle the other command. What happens if the user does not provide a name? In that case, we're just going to go ahead and execute this but we're not going to give it a name. We're going to let Maya handle that part. So we're going to get rid of this, get rid of that guy. Let's put a couple of spaces here for readability, and store the result. Right? So by now, the node has been created, and it has been linked to whatever was selected. So we should be good right now. So we're going to go ahead and continue, and we're going to do this. We're going to start a list, and then res.getResult. And what we're doing here is that the ndexecute command is going to populate this res value with some internal data. And when you tell it get the result, it's usually going to give you two things. It's going to give you, like, sometimes depending on what you're creating, it's going to give you the transform and the DAG node or the shape. In this, right now, I think what it's going to give us back is just the deformer node that we created. So we're going to undo selection list clear. So we're going to do here really quick, just documenting, get the result, clear selection list, right? And then we're going to use the selection list to add what we have before. So selist.add mar 0. So add the new MDD read node to the selection list. So now we are going to we're going to get the first component of the selection list. So we're going to do selist.getDepend node, dep node, and we did this before. So we have that there. We're going to go ahead and create our function mfn. Actually, we should be able to copy this right here once again. I'm going to copy this, paste it right here. Right, so we have our dependent node. You will use the dependent node to create the function set, which is what we really are after. And then we're going to connect the time attribute. And this is going to look like Maya globals execute command. We're going to do, at this point it's straight mail, so connect adder. It's f time 1 dot out time to this dot time. And we're going to get the first component of this MIR that we got back. So let's see, connect attribute. Let's put a guy right here. Execute command. And then finally, we're going to do the same thing we did over here. Set the values. And we're going to do that there. So I think that's all we need right now. This should complete our script. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to go ahead and comment this guy's out because we don't need him anymore. I hope we don't. We're going to change the command a little bit. Instead of doing an edit or anything like that, we're going to go ahead and change the syntax of it to be a creation. So you see, we're telling it, I want to create it with the name foobar with an offset of, let's do 10. I want cycle to be set to true. And I want to read this file, which I have somewhere in my desk. So at this point, I should be able to just run this and then run this also. Let's see, MD is not defined. What did I type wrong? Something is just leaping there. So let's try again. Let's go ahead and load this. So that worked. that worked. And if I do this, MD is not defined. Okay, I have an error on my script over here, and I think I know where it is. MD. This is not MD, this should be MG. MG and MG. Let's try that again. Select everything. And voila. You can see our deformer is called foobar, which is the name that we gave it right here. The offset is set to 10. Cycle is set to what we wanted it. And then we can use the command again, tdcMddRead. For query, we want to query the offset of the node called foobar. It gives us 10. And then let's say that we want to edit the offset. Well, let's edit the cycle since we have the cycle false. And it's working. So there you have it. By now you have a script that's able to read MDD files. We added all the necessary parameters and arguments that we needed to control that. Then we created a command that would allow us to create, edit, and query our MDD nodes. And we went ahead and we wrapped all of this into a single plugin. So when you load a plugin, you get a lot of information. And just to show you guys really quick, if I go here to Plugin Manager, and I see tdcMddRead right here, if I click on the I, it's going to tell us this plugin is loading a command called tdcMddRead and a dependency node called tdcMddRead. So even though they have the same name, they're different things. One is a command, the other one's a dependency node. So that pretty much wraps this portion of the video. The last video that we have to go over is how to make this user interface more usable. Because right now, for example, if I want to change the MDD file, you know what? It's horrible to just have to type here. I should have a little browse button that will bring up you know, a file browser so I can pick a file. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. For now, this is all. I hope you guys were able to follow. If anything is not clear, please go ahead and give us a comment, send us an email, use our Q&A forum, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much and have a good night.